All right, let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is Mother Susan Clare from St. Stephen's.
Mighty God of many names and peoples, we come to ask you for your presence, blessing, and wisdom for these leaders of our community. Send the spirit of wisdom, charity, equality, and justice upon them so that they may faithfully serve the people of Beckley. May deliberations and discussions be calm, wise, and may all involved truly listen to and respect each other and their opinions. We pray that both elected leaders and citizens will come together to work and make Beckley a prosperous and friendly city in which to live. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend.
That was very good.
All right, we'll bring this meeting to order. Susan is not feeling 100%, so are you keeping the notes today? Okay, just make a note that we do have a quorum. First item on the agenda is the reading and approval of the minutes from the March 11th, 2025 City Council meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion, any corrections? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say nay. Okay, so moved. Thank you, council. Next up is the reading and approval of the minutes from the March 13th, 2025 workshop, which we were all here. It was very, it was about the budget. Real good stuff. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections or any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say nay. Okay, so moved. Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is the resolution for one pro officer at Woodrow Wilson High School through the Justice Assistance Grant Funds for $15,000. Mr. Fowle, do you want to comment any further on that?
Very briefly, I'll just state that this is a grant that helps with the prevention resource officer salary to be paid. It is $15,000. It's under the Justice Assistance Grant Program from the Division of Administrative Services, Justice and Community Services section. It just requires a motion to adopt the resolution.
All right, with that, may I have a motion to approve the resolution as presented?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Is there any questions for Mr. Fowle on this matter? Okay, great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
If there's anyone opposed, say nay. So moved. Thank you, council. Next up is brief comments from city council members, and Councilwoman Bullock, we'll start with you. I just want to call you Janine, but I'm going to say.
Call me Janine.
Okay. Janine, you start us off.
Okay. Yes, Mayor, I would like to have a moment of silence for attorney Wilbur Payne. I attended his memorial service this past weekend, so if we could have a moment of silence for him.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Damon Kane. I just read about him retiring from Register Apparel. And congratulations to Pam Fry. She's retiring too, so I don't see her here tonight. And this Friday, Jill has worked extremely hard for the unveiling of the Bill Withers statue. So I just want to say congratulations to her and to her committee for the hard work that they have done to make sure that is completed. And I believe that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Kip?
Yes, just real brief. Jill, thank you for the Bill Withers statue that you're doing and stuff. Just let everybody aware, City Pickup starts March 31st, which is a little bit earlier this year, I believe, than in the previous years. We're working on the building list, and Shirley got me the list of cars for the automobiles that the city has and insurance. So thank you, Shirley Trotter, for that. That's it.
Frank?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Nancy?
I don't have anything either.
Madam?
I think we all came back energized from the Municipal League's conference, and we learned a lot more about land banks. And Mr. Fowle, are we any closer to a first reading, I'm sorry?
Yes, we are definitely closer. 2 weeks closer.
Would you care to
Donnie and I are
expound?
actually working on it.
Okay.
We gotta be close. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's all, but I just think it'll be really beneficial. I thought it was exciting. We had a pretty good time down there. I hope to go again next year. And Jill, I'm so excited to see the statue. Thank you for all your work.
Yeah, hopefully we have hopefully the weather's gonna be a little nicer than this today. We'll have a huge turnout on Friday. Looking forward to it. I was gonna give a shout out to Pam and Public Works. We had a lot of potholes, a lot of bad roads, and I have seen our crews out there almost everywhere I go driving through Beckley, patching holes and everything else. I still get people that have called me or texted me, asking about potholes, but I think you all have done a great job, and I just wanna give y'all a little credit for that, so. Sherry, anything for you?
I do. Okay. This coming Thursday is Raleigh County Make It Shine's first big litter sweep. We will be at 3 locations. We'll be at Glen Morgan. There will be a group meeting at the former car wash there at Glen Morgan. Then we'll be at where the interstate bridge is, that crosses up on Sullivan Road. Will be there. Then the WVU Tech students will be at the entrance of Fitzpatrick Park. And so Make It Shine's really, really excited about this. I did get information today that the Beckley Board of Realtors, K-Booth, reached out to Make It Shine that they are going to be cleaning up Harper Road. So Harper Road's going to have a litter sweep in the next couple weeks. I want to thank Rose Hicks. She always brings attention to things not necessarily in the city, but that affects everybody in that little connector road going into Walmart.
Oh my gosh.
It's awful. There's probably a dozen potholes. It's not the city's responsibility to do that, or the county. Nobody wants to claim that. But I did reach out to Michelle Rodolini, and she's going to speak with Ryland Music, with the Division of Highways, and see exactly what can be done. I want you to know that I spoke with an entity that will remove your car if you have an abandoned car that you own the title to that car and you want it to be removed. Please let me know, and that car will be removed at no charge to you. They do this in the county and they do this in the city, and so we've had much luck. Thank you for the owners of Affordable Towing. That's a wonderful gift. A lot of people have junkers that are in their in their yard, and it just looks bad. You can't get a second opportunity to make a good first impression. And I know my comments are long, but anyway, if you can come out for the litter sweep on March 27th, we'll hook you up with a litter grabber. Hook you up with a litter grabber, safety vest, and bags, and Board of Public Works will pick up the things and bring it to the landfill. That's it.
Thank you. Cody?
Yeah, I have 2 things. Last week I was able to meet Michelle Rodolini invited me, and Ms. Moorfield was there, and there's a group that they call them Downtown Pulse. It's kind of all the downtown business owners, and they asked me to come to talk to me about their parking issues and stuff. We had a good 2.5-hour conversation about parking, but we're not having a parking commission meeting tonight. It was not posted, so we're not able to have it. So hopefully next time we'll make sure it's posted and get it. So I just wanted to go over a couple things now about that, and then I'll go through more details with you on the parking commission. But one thing that seemed to be the general problem with all of them, that most of our parking meters aren't working, and people try to put coins in them and they're not working, and I know Stefan's had problems trying to be able to give people tickets and fines because the meter's not working well. A lot of the uptown employees have figured out which ones don't work, and they're pulling there every day. And on Main Street, of course, there's 3 vehicles that park there every day because they don't want to park in the grass lot that their employer provides them, so they don't want to get it dirty. So, you know, there's not much we can do about it. So I'm kind of I wanted to make a suggestion tonight, and at the Parking Commission, I talked to Mr. File about it, and I would like to make like mainly Prince Street, Main Street, Neville, and that little block of South Fayette that connects between Main and Prince, basically around the courthouse. I would like to make that just a 2-hour parking temporarily, with no putting money in the meter, just make it a straight 2-hour parking. That way he can mark, you know, tires with chalk or whatever. And if they're there longer than 2 hours, they'll be ticketed and fined, but keep cars moving. And, you know, a lot of the flower shop, the Dish, the bookstore are having a lot of problems, people sitting there all day long, and they're, you know, customers are having to drive all the way across downtown to find a parking spot, and then they're losing customers. So we came up with suggestions that they threw out, and I thought that was a pretty, you know, fair offer to them, that we could do a 2-hour in those areas until we get parking meters in place. The company we had talked to has kind of ghosted me and Jessica and just not answering us now, so we're going to have to put it out to try to get some companies to come to us to get parking meters. But until then, I thought it might be something that we could do. So I'm going to ask Mr. File if we can put that on the agenda. I believe he said that we need to have 2 readings on it since it's a price thing. So that will hopefully be coming on the agenda for next meeting. And then one other thing that I had, they were wondering if we had like a GSI interactive map. I don't know if this is your kind of question, that we can use, that they can, they're creating a website, is what they're doing. It's gonna be like Downtown Pulse, and they wanted to know if they could partner with us to have like where our parking lots were, and show them like this one costs, it's a monthly parking only, or this one's, you know, metered based or whatever. I didn't know if that's something we have or ability to maybe do.
We do not have it, we certainly have the ability to do that.
Okay.
We just have to get a few more details of exactly what you're looking for and how you're gonna do that, but yeah.
Okay, I'll reach out to you in the coming weeks. But that was the main 2 things that they had brought up and wanted, so.
Okay. Mr. Gerald?
Well, I had certainly the pleasure to meet several organizations, citizens, and so forth this week. I've been pretty busy. And to second what Sherry said, I've been in contact with the developer of both of those streets. He is preparing a deed so we can adopt those 2 streets. Okay? And the reason I felt that way was because Walmart's, Lowe's, Bridgeport, and all those are B&O tax organizations and sales tax. So I just thought the city ought to take care of them. So we didn't want to invade anybody's streets or anything, but they was abandoned. In other words, nobody was taking care of them. So I just thought I'd take it up on myself to get some deeds prepared in the city's name. And he's very cooperative in that. Queen Anne and McCulloch. Yes, and I think we're already taking care of McCulloch, maybe, as far as potholes and stuff. So we're already taking care of it. So just to let you know that. But anyway, I'm a Dr. Starcher also. Ms. Bullock's concerns about opium and counselors. So I met with Dr. Starcher today and gave her the pamphlet, and also outlined all the school things that we could possibly, contribute to help them and our kids. So I've been busy. So
Thank you for that.
thank you. Oh, 1 second, just too. Y'all took my thunder down, Ms. Bullock. I want to invite everybody
Go ahead, announce
to
it
the
again.
Bill Withers Monument unveiling.
We'll take as much people forward as we can get.
So thank y'all.
Okay, moving on to old business, and the first item is the renewal of contract with Soaring Hope Animal Rescue. This memorandum of understanding was tabled during the last city council meeting, and with that, may I have a motion to take it off the table and bring it back on the floor?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I don't know if Jessica or if you all want to go back and talk about the contract. That was just a little bit more information, because I know there was an amendment to it. The amount that we gave them last year, we have amended or talked about amending the amount that we will give them for the next year. So if one of you all want to comment more on that?
Sure. The amount that Soaring Hope had requested has increased from $1,500 a month to $2,000 a month. They've also requested a 3-run or 4-run kennel building. The cost is not to exceed $10,500, and we will split that evenly between us and the county. Is there any other, or you all have any
Well, at
questions?
this
or-
point, I'll
Yeah.
make a motion to approve
Yes.
the contract as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any questions or for Jessica or Mr. Gerald on that amount? So bumping up from $1,500 to $2,000 a month for next year. Anybody have any
I
questions on
don't
that?
have any questions. I just wanted to thank them for how they assisted me with the dogs over G Street, so I just
Okay.
want to tell them thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, at this point, are all those in favor of approving the new contract with Soaring Hope Animal Rescue, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. Is there any other old business? Anything else from council? Okay, great. We'll move on to new business. The first item is the award for the bid for the D-Lab Demolition Group 6. At this point, I'm gonna turn it over to Cody Reedy, Councilman Cody Reedy, to discuss the bid that we unsealed at the last city council meeting, and go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, so with for the group 6, we had to take the lowest bid. The way the funding for this goes, we have to take the lowest bid, and that was Empire Salvage at $80,000. I will make that in the form of a motion that we accept that bid.
So moved.
Is there any questions about that before we take a vote? Okay. All those in favor of approving the Empire Salvage Company bid in the amount of $80,000 for the demolition of structures listed in Group 6, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, it's so approved. Thank you, council. And the second one's the award for the bid for the D-Lab demolition, which was Group 7. Again, I'll turn it over to Cody for the details on that.
Yeah, it's the same thing, basically. We had to take the lowest bid, and the lowest bid on that, on Group 7, was Astor Oilfield Services at $37,650. That is 2 commercial structures coming down with that bid. I'm making it in form of a motion that we accept it.
Second.
Any questions about that one before we take a vote? Okay, very well. All those in favor of approving Astor Oilfield Services for the winning bid for the D-Lab Demolition Group 7, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, so moved. Thank you, council. Next up on the agenda is the disposal of surplus assets. I think I'll turn it over to Jessica. Do you want to comment further on this?
Sure. You should have in your packet a list of all the assets that the departments have located that we need to auction off. Each one of these items, we've ran through all the departments, nobody needs them in the city. So we were looking to go ahead and dispose of these and auction them through Gov Deals. There's 2 pages of them.
So when we dispose of them, is it up for auction or,
Yes.
okay.
Yep, we'll put them all on Gov Deals. Yep.
Gov.com.
Yes.
Is there a date set for that yet, or?
Not
No,
yet.
we were waiting for approval.
Okay, very good. Whoa, I gotta need my glasses to read that
I know, right?
one. That is small.
It's very small print.
You don't have a code?
Yes.
Yeah, we got it. It's just.
There.
Let's see if I can find my copy.
There it is. I got it. So are we wanting to approve that
I'll just
tonight?
take a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just need a motion,
Just
just a motion to approve.
dispose of it, yes.
So, may I have a motion to approve of the disposal of the surplus assets?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions for Jessica or Mr. Gerald on this?
On this, we will probably do, a few at a time. We'll probably do 10 or 15 at a time and do them in lots, but we'll put that, advertise it in the paper with what lots we're doing when. So we'll get all that together after the
In
approval.
other words, put the vehicles in one lot, or individual, it all depends.
Very good.
Years ago, the
Yes.
city used to have, Mr. Fowler, the city used to have their auction at New River Park and have all of their equipment there. Does this bring in more money if you do it on our?
Trust me, yes.
It sure does.
Yes, you'll bring in hundreds of bidders. In other words, most of our buses that we did at transportation got bought from Mexico and places like that.
And it goes on, what'd you say, what website does this?
Gov
go?
Deals,
Gov
Gobdeals.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor of approving the disposal, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, approved. Thank you, council. Next up is the resolution to adopt the budget. I'll turn it over to Mr. Gerald, interim city manager for this, or to Jessica.
Where's that at? Either way, go ahead.
So the resolution for the budget, we're required to adopt our budget by March 28th. So this meeting will be the meeting we need to adopt our estimate of our budget. And then if all else fails, we can make changes to it at any time. We can make a revision. So this will be for the general fund and for the coal severance fund are the ones that the state auditor is requiring. As you know, we talked, excuse me, we talked in the workshop about the parking, parks, economic development, and building commission as well. So all of those are in your packet to be approved. The only change that was made since our workshop was the contribution for the Humane Society, and we put that back in and lowered the amount of capital improvements. That was the only change we've made since then.
And thank you all for the workshop, the budget workshop, because 4 of us are new and others that have been here a while said it was helpful to them, and I took that budget home and looked it over. Thank you for compiling that, Jessica. Thank you all.
They did a good job, yes.
It was helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's the first one we've had of anything like that, so it was good to figure out a lot of information.
Absolutely.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the fiscal year 25-26 budget as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any last discussion on it? Okay, all those in favor of approving, say aye. If there's anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, so moved. Thank you, council. So next up is Miss Nancy Johnson with the Raleigh County Humane Society. You can come on up and to the podium, and the mic is yours.
I'll try not to take too much of y'all's time tonight. First of all, thank you for letting me come in tonight and speak. I just have a few topics to touch on that I know there's some questions about the Humane Society that people ask, and it seems like no matter how much we try to put information out, that it just doesn't hit the right ears sometimes. So I thought I'd make a few notes, and I guess if you have any questions while I'm speaking, that's fine. I'll try to answer them if I can. So one of the big things, first and foremost, is reasons that we don't allow people back in the kennels where the dogs are actually residing while they're at the shelter. And there are several reasons for that. First, there's a lot of physical stress on the dogs when people walk through, but then they're not allowed to touch them or take them out of the kennels, and it causes barrier reactivity, and they start jumping at the doors. And that reduces chances of being adopted because people develop fear because they think the dog is like lunging at them when all they're really wanting is some attention, and that's not really the case. It becomes a learned behavior, it doesn't present well, and it will affect adoptions. And the way we have it set up is we have sorry, I'm a little hoarse, I've been talking to like 200 people in the last 2 weekends doing spay-neuter vouchers. We have a touch screen in our lobby, and you can come in and all the dogs are listed on the touch screen, and you can touch each picture, and if there's a dog you want to see, a kennel worker will bring it out, which gives it more of an opportunity to maybe find a home because you're gonna see a one-on-one with you and that dog and not it reacting to 50 other dogs lunging at their doors and barking and growling and wanting attention. So that does help their chances of getting adopted. Another thing is safety for potential adopters. Floors can be wet and there are slip hazards. I had my flip-flops on back there one day and I slipped and broke my toe. So that is a big thing, is safety, because the floors do get wet. Dogs have been known to break out of the cages. They have learned to flip the latches and get out. They have learned to climb the cages and come out over the top. They're very resourceful when they want out to see someone or something, believe me. And if by chance you would walk through those kennels and there wasn't a kennel tech right there and a dog was loose, there's the opportunity for a dog to bite, to knock you down, or scare you to death at the worst. So that is one of our big reasons. Another thing, it helps with cleaning. It gives our kennel workers time to properly disinfect, because before this, they had a 2.5-hour time limit that they had to have the kennels done, everything cleaned up, everything dried up. That just wasn't enough time with the amount of dogs that we house. And things, they were clean, maybe not properly sanitized, so now things are more properly sanitized and infection control is more under control. 10 out of 12 of our employees are young females, and people who have been disappointed by humans often turn to the company of animals, and we get a lot of employees. Turnover is big in this type of environment, so we do get a lot of employees that come from a lot of abuse situations, and someone walking up behind them when they can't hear them coming up because the dogs are loud or they have earplugs in, it could cause a trigger or a bad reaction to someone, so we don't really want that to happen. And in the past, small dogs, puppies, and even kittens have been stolen when people were back there. They would catch a kennel worker not paying attention, they flip a door, they open it up, they stick it in their jacket, and they bolt out the door before you realize it's gone, they're out of there. And it has happened more than once. I hate to say that, but it has. The absolute biggest reason is people can't follow simple rules. Don't open cage doors, don't stick your hands, don't stick your fingers in, don't let your kids stick their hands and fingers in. They can't follow simple rules, and people get bit or they get nipped because the dogs are excited. So that whole project was my baby. I'm the one who advocated for that because there was a lot of larger shelters in other states and other areas that do that. And they said they had a better adoption rate using that format of the touch screen. So it was something that I advocated for in our shelter because I thought it would help a lot. Any questions about any of that? Nope, okay, I'll move on. I just have a few things. I promise I'm not gonna be here forever. So we are a no-kill facility. So this means we keep them until a proper home or rescue is found. So they could be there days, weeks, months, and some of them years, depending on, issues or behavioral or health. It just depends. Our adoption contracts have a clause that in the event an animal is no longer wanted, they must be returned to us. Therefore, we try to keep one open kennel for returns because unfortunately, out of every 5 adoptions, 1 is usually returned within the first 30 to 45 days. Either you go into a shelter, it's kind of like test driving a car. You drive it for 5 minutes and it seems like a great car, and then you get it home 2 weeks later and it's not so great. So the dog might be on their best behavior because they're scared at the shelter, and then you get it home and it tears your house down or something, and people bring it back. They don't give it time to acclimate into its new home, and they just return it. So we try to keep 1 kennel open for that purpose, for a return, because if it's all full and they bring a dog back, we have to take it, then we have nowhere to put it. We try to keep a kennel open also for emergencies. Example of that being, we had a car accident a couple years ago. The occupant was unfortunately killed in the accident, and her service dog was in the car, and he lived. And the dog was brought to us to hold until family could be contacted and they could come and get the dog. So we try to keep something open for those types of emergencies, medical or, somebody might have got arrested or went to jail, and their dog has to have somewhere till the family can come. So we try to have 2 kennels. One is our basic need. We try to shoot for 2 just to help with those types of emergencies. One of the big things that I think is a problem is people don't understand that the government does not own the shelter. We are a private business. And no matter how many times we say it and to who, they think because Raleigh County is in our name that we are owned by Raleigh County, which is not the case. We run on grants, estates, and donations, with both city and county participating in the donation part, which we appreciate. I'm sorry. I can't read my own notes. We appreciate all of our donations, and a lot of Beckley residents bless us with their estates when they do pass away, and we're very grateful for that, because if we didn't get those, we couldn't survive day to day. Each animal costs about $375 a month to care for. That's food, basic vetting. Some of them are more if they're injured or very sick when they come in. So in the first quarter of 2025, we have had 106 animals come in our doors and 103 go out. And unfortunately, most of the dogs that we take in are large breed. We hardly ever get medium or small dogs. We usually have room for those, but we hardly ever get them. If we primarily only took puppies or litters of puppies, which rescues will pull much quicker than a full-grown dog, our numbers would present higher. Our rescue numbers or our numbers going out would present higher. Numbers are very deceiving. They are dependent on the population. Example being, we get mostly pit bulls, shepherd mixes, pit mixes, hounds, hound mixes, big dogs that some people who come in, they can't handle that size of dog or that activity level of those dogs. And they just don't move as quickly as, say, a Shih Tzu or a litter of puppies. Unfortunately, they may be there for a while. In the first quarter of 2025, our vetting costs were around $20,000. And as we enter into warmer months, that cost will likely double, because you have diseases like distemper or parvo that with the warmer weather have a tendency to spread more. You have more litters of kittens being born and coming into the shelter, and they're usually, every one of them have runny eyes and runny nose, so that's more vetting. In 2024, West Virginia Department of Agriculture provided $22,500 in spay-neuter vouchers. We not only matched, our match was $16,400. We not only matched our $16,400, but went above that portion to fulfill all the vouchers that were turned in. And I think ours went up to about $25,000 as far as our match. And again, this year it's the same with the $22,500 from WVDA. And I have currently handed out 227 vouchers in 2 weekends. Unfortunately, not everyone that got one of those will follow through and get their animal fixed, and there's not much I can do to force them to do that. A lot of that is vetting. They can't afford the vaccines. Once they get the vouchers, the vaccines are still very costly, and they can't get that. We do have other services we provide to the city and county population, our biggest being the pet food pantry. I don't know if you're aware that we have that. Well, in the first quarter, we have provided 38 people with pet food or cat litter who have come in needing help. That keeps the animal in their home, and they're less likely to abandon or surrender their animal to a shelter or a rescue. If we have enough food, they are given an amount that should cover a whole quarter, so 3 months' food at a time. If you come in and we don't have enough to cover you for a quarter, we note it, and you're welcome to come back within that quarter to get more. You can come in once a quarter otherwise. We have several ladies that do TNR. I don't know if you're familiar, trap, neuter, release. Okay, neuter also covers spay, so we supplement their surgery needs to help cut down on the amount of feral cats that a lot of people in the county and city do complain about. And the best way to deal with those feral colonies is TNR, not actually removing the cats, because that is a lot of, cats don't handle stress well. So it's just better to kind of vet them and let the colony just die out, basically. Our building has gotten a lot of much-needed renos. It had gone into disrepair over the years where we didn't have money and vetting bills were running us kind of in the ground. We spent $30,000 on plumbing because we had a major pipe bursting incident Christmas Day 2 years ago. And we had just had new ceiling put in our hallway, and it completely just wiped it out and flooded the hallways, and that was a whole thing. So it was about $30,000. We've had a lot of kennel repairs and replacements, and portions of that is covered by grants, but we always have to match that money. We never get enough to actually pay to complete anything. We always have to match it. We also answer all after-hour emergency calls and facilitate vetting when possible. Sometimes the vets will come out, sometimes they will not. Again, we have no control over that. We try to do our best to call them out. We only have one emergency vet in Raleigh County at this time. So, and sometimes, I don't know if it's the vet on call that isn't able to come, they will refer us to go to Charleston, which our animal control officers cannot do. So there are occasions that that animal will pass away because of that instance.
Nancy, can I ask a question?
Sure.
While I have it in mind.
Sure.
What you're a no-kill shelter, so what happens if you get a highly aggressive dog? What can be done there?
Typically, we don't take in highly aggressive animals. There's a West Virginia state law that says we can't house vicious animals. And if animal control picks up that animal, they should go before the magistrate to ask for a kill order to have that animal taken care of. It should never come to the shelter. There is West Virginia state law. Also, we are beside of a grade school, so that's kind of a big no. We don't want vicious animals that could potentially break out or get away from somebody. We don't want to put our employees at risk of getting bit or hurt in any way.
I just wondered because we had an occasion in our neighborhood you probably know about.
Yeah.
That went on, and I didn't know. I mean, I know what finally happened with the dog, but I didn't know where it was
I hate that
kept.
any animal has to be euthanized, but any animal that is dangerous does not need to be readopted out into the public. Because even if you come to me and you say, I can control this dog, I have a 6-foot fence, and the dog will be fine at my house, what if it's not? What if somebody opens your door and it runs out and it kills somebody's other animal or injures a child? So we try to absolutely not do that. It is kind of up to magistrate court to give them a kill order and take care of that. I hate it, but it happens. You can't save all of them. That is bottom line. You cannot save every animal. It just is not possible. I have learned that the hard way with a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah, us too, yeah. Thank you.
The final thing I'd like to point out, Humane Society of Raleigh County and Loved at Last, which is a 501c3 feral cat colony caregiver run by Amy Christian, are the only two entities that are solely focused on animals in Raleigh County. We do have other rescues and they do great work. Kudos to them, but they do accept animals from other counties. They do accept animals sometimes from other states, and there have been instances where they brought them in from other countries. I think we have enough abandoned animals. We don't need to be bringing them from another country. But that's pretty much everything I've got. I appreciate you letting me come in and speak with you guys. I know there were some questions and some things that people didn't understand about the shelter because it isn't the shelter that it was even 5 years ago. It's a different environment, and we have tried to make it a cleaner, healthier place for the animals. A better job for the employees because turnover is very high. It is very stressful, and turnover is high, but it's not as much now as it was in the past. And we just want to try to do our best for all the animals that come in our doors. So that's all I have, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, we might ask some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Stay right there.
Let me put my glasses on so I can see who you are.
After hours, do you all have a number for people to call after hours?
Do we? No.
No.
I mean, there's nothing you could call the shelter for after hours. Anything that has to be picked up goes through animal control. And as you know, they work for the county,
Right,
not for me.
Right, well, I had them, some of them were working after hours when we had a problem over on
Yeah,
East Street,
yeah.
so, okay.
Now, if they need us after hours, they know who to reach out to, yes.
Okay. And what's your capacity of dogs?
Dogs, we try to keep it at about 68 dogs. We have a set of large runs, which are the big dogs.
Okay.
They run upwards of probably 40 pounds and up. They're not huge kennels, but they're the biggest ones we have. The rest, we have a small, I can't even think how many's in there, maybe 10 for medium-sized dog, which is like 35 down to probably about 15. And then we have small dogs and puppy rooms. We do have, and I forgot to mention that for our puppies and for our cats, we have isolation cages that are, they have their own air ducts run in so that there's no cross-contamination, and we do that with puppies and cats and kittens to keep them safe so that the disease doesn't spread if they have a URI, which is upper respiratory, or a puppy has parvo. Because I'm sure Miss Nancy, you probably know, years ago, parvo puppies didn't make it.
No.
They did not. They do now. Our survival rate on parvo puppies is about 98% now. So because we got those cages, it has made a huge, huge difference. I'm sorry, I went off on a rant.
That's okay, because I was just looking at the numbers that you gave, like 106 animals. And you released 103, so where did those animals?
Well, you have to it's kind of like a revolving door. So for every 3 that go out, you've got 5 ready to come in. And you've got your ones that have been there for a while, so they come in, they go out, they come in, they go out. Puppies, we've had a few litters of puppies, not very many, and that does make your number, like I said, numbers are deceiving, because you get a litter of 10 puppies and you send that to rescue, that's 11 dogs, I'm saying, that are going out the door. That really were never available for adoption because they weren't old enough to go out.
Thank you.
I had no idea y'all were private. I always thought this whole time you all, so.
Yeah, we are a
Part of the
private
county.
business. The
Yeah.
land
I
and the
thought
building
you
was donated by Kathleen Kepler in
Okay.
1979.
So I got, you say that, was it 68? You have room? Are you constantly at capacity? I mean, are you constantly turning? And what happens to people that bring their
Large
dog?
dogs, we are constantly at capacity. We do turn away a lot of dogs, which for years they didn't. And what they did is they had wire kennels lining the hallways, in offices, in bathrooms. And those dogs were in those cages for weeks. Like, I'm talking like a kennel that you would have in your house, like a black cage that you would have in your house. And those would go up and down the hallway, stacked on top of each other. And there could be upwards of 200 animals in that building, which violates building code and all of that. So we had to make changes and stop that.
Besides, Nancy's husband will take them home with him. Matt will take them home with him.
Unfortunately, she's not lying.
So tell Batman I said, hey.
I will.
So no more exercising dogs. You don't have people walking pets anymore.
We do. We have volunteers. We don't have a lot of volunteers. The ASPCA recommends 15 minutes a day for each animal to be walked and socialized. We have great employees, and they work really hard to get those animals out for at least their 15 minutes. Most of them get more than that. We don't get a lot of volunteers. Weekends, I was there all day Saturday doing spay-neuter vouchers, and we saw probably 10 volunteers come in maybe and walk dogs. So we do get them, just not a lot.
So somebody can just come to the office and say, I wanna walk a dog.
Yes, we have a
Yeah.
volunteer, I can't think of what her actual title is. She's a volunteer fundraising coordinator, and you just go to her and you fill out the proper paperwork to volunteer and you sign in. And after you've been there, I don't know, a half a dozen times, you're allowed to go get the dog you want to walk and bring it out. Otherwise, they will bring the dog out to you if you don't want to go back there.
You said you have grants. Do you have a grant writer, or is that a volunteer person?
Our director does a lot of the grant writing, and our fundraising coordinator, she does some of it also. We used to have a person who did all of our grants, Miss Hosh. I know you know who India is. But India resigned. She said she had gotten too old and she had too many cats and kids to take care of, so she left us. But she will answer any questions that we come across if we need help.
Do you have a lot of youth volunteers or not?
No, and the problem with that is you have to be 18 to walk a dog. So you can be 18 or 17 and you can come out, but your mom or your dad or somebody has to come with you, and you cannot physically hold the leash. The adult has to. It's an insurance liability thing. I know that wasn't the answer he wanted to hear.
Times have changed.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Anybody? If I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you, so.
Can I ask questions?
I'll recognize. We'll let you ask one question. Go ahead.
One?
Yeah. Try to get through this.
Can she ask one too?
Brief, very brief.
Okay, so, well, she said it was a private business. Is it a private business?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not like a nonprofit or anything?
It is a
501c3.
nonprofit.
Yeah,
Yes.
just-
So it's not a private business then?
Yes, it is. We privately own it.
It's
It is not
nonprofit.
owned by the county or city.
Questions? Y'all didn't talk about cats. I know you briefly mentioned Amy and,
Mhm.
like, how many can y'all house and how many's in and out now? And what happened with the low-cost spay neuter center with the Delaney White family?
All right, last question.
Okay, that one's a good one.
I'm like, I have no idea with that. That is not affiliated with us at all, so I can't answer that at all.
Yeah, the big fundraiser, and y'all were gonna match
Yeah,
funds
that's
and-
not, that's their hospital and their fundraising. We are not affiliated with that at all.
But y'all were.
Once upon a time, but we are not now.
And can you make a statement about what
No.
happened?
Oh,
No.
y'all can talk about it some other time. How about that? Let's move on.
So we good?
We're good. Ms.
We're
Johnson,
good.
thank you so
Okay.
much for being
Thank
here.
you, thank you guys.
Yeah, y'all can talk about it while we're in executive session. How's that? Next up on the agenda is the appointment of Mr. Phil Gerald, interim city manager to the Raleigh County Convention Center Board of Directors. I think this is a good thing. I have subbed in. They only have meetings quarterly, but I have sat in on the last two. But if we approve this, this will put somebody from the city on the board. I think right now it's Terry Miller, Marvin Robertson.
and myself.
And the guy that's currently on
He
it
resigned.
is Kenny Howe, who just resigned.
Yes.
So this will be a good thing for us. We'll have somebody on the city that'll be sitting on that board. So at this point, may I have a motion to appoint our interim city manager, Phil Gerald,
So
to the
moved.
board of directors? May I have a second?
Second.
Y'all on a rush, aren't you? Any questions about this? Any questions for Mr. Gerald? All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Approved, so moved. Thank you, council. Next up is public comments. As you know, you get 3 minutes. Try to be as brief as possible. There's not a lot of names on the list this time, but, yeah, be respectful when you announce your name and your address. We'll try to keep it to 3 minutes. Jessica will let me know when you're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Mary West, you can come on up. You're first. And Anthony, while Mary's making her way up there, do we have anybody on the, you come on.
We do have,
Do you want,
You want to stay with?
do you want to use that mic, Mary?
She can use that. I'm loud enough.
I agree. You're good.
We know, we know.
That's a compliment. You command the room. That's a compliment.
Hey.
Anthony, you said we have one? Anthony, you said we have one?
if you don't care to read the prompt, we do have a lot of people in attendance online.
Okay, so public comments, if you're calling by phone, you can dial *3 to raise your hand. If you're connected by a computer, just click the hand icon on your participants panel and we will recognize you. But Mary West, you got the floor. Go ahead.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And first of all, I would like to thank you all for beginning to do something for LaRue Avenue. You know, it's a start, but, you know, you wouldn't give me my bumps, but you gave me some humps, so I got to learn a new dance, a hump instead of a bump. And, you know, when we finish, those humps gonna be like pots of gold for me. And I wanna thank Pam Fry and Mr. Potter and all for the work they do for the city. Because they came out and they tried to help with that situation. So I thank each and every one of you. It's been forever, I have been trying to even get anything done. So I am thankful that I got that much already. And next of all, as you all know, our children are gonna lose their school lunches, and veterans are gonna lose their food boxes and things in the future. So a lot of people are asking why they cannot have chicken coops and turkey coops on their properties. We got squirrels and rabbits running around in the city limits, so why can't we have the turkeys and the chickens in the city limits? As long as they keep everything and have a garden if necessary. Because it's gonna come a time that they're not gonna have the food for our children and things. So if that, you all can look into that. And another thing, on Robert C. Byrd, that light that turns on to 3rd Avenue, when you come up by the Salvation Army, and you get ready to make that left-hand turn, will somebody please put an arrow there for a signal for people to make the left-hand turn? Because I sat there through 3 lights trying to get the turn in onto the street. So now, Chief, don't sit out there, because I come across the service station parking lot. I'm tired of sitting at the light waiting, so if you all can reorganize that, I don't know who the engineer was, but he definitely lost his mind at that point when he missed that turn signal right there.
I know what you're talking about.
I brought that up one
Yeah,
time. I brought that up in
Yes,
past
it's
city manager.
terrible, it's terrible.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's state road.
It is state
State-
road.
it's
So
state road.
we
Well,
can
hey,
state
don't make me have to call them, cause they'll come there and.
There you go, go to their meeting, that'd be awesome.
All right, I done got the state road before. So
Six-
I
six
thank
minutes.
all of you all and keep up the good work.
Thank
Seems
you.
like this administration is trying to do better than the last one, and I'm so thankful. So keep up the good work, so don't, I won't come at you until you don't do your job. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Miss
Mary.
West.
Teresa Dennison.
Hey, how are y'all? So I don't live in the city limits. Do you want me to say where I live?
Sure.
I live out on Maple Fork, so. Thank y'all for praying too, that was way cool.
Yes.
How long ago did y'all start that? Was that, did I miss it?
A few months ago.
Yay, okay. I volunteer with Layla's Hope Cat Rescue, and I was just wanting to draw a little attention to, I know that Debbie's been talking to some of y'all. That's why I was curious about the cat numbers, cause, you guys just focus mainly on dogs, don't you?
No, we have cats. We have a lot of cats usually.
How many can y'all house?
When they come in.
Anyway, whoa, you don't have to answer that.
Oh, okay,
You
I'm
just
sorry.
you just do your
Okay,
comments toward us, you're
okay,
not supposed
so-
to direct it
so
toward somebody
sorry.
individually.
So sorry.
You're good,
Yeah.
just keep going.
I'm sorry, Nancy. Okay, so for, 2024, we had, 456 adoptions and rescues, 333 spay and neuters, and 139 were adopted out through Pet Supplies Plus. We are in partnership with them, and they allow us, they have 4 condos out there. And so, for 2025, we have, so far have like $11,000 in expenses and only have brought in 3,500. So I know that you brought up Amy and she does good work, but like we focus on kittens and trying to find homes for cats too. So a lot of people don't know, but Debbie Miller has, and a few of us have worked really hard. We trap, neuter, release, and if you don't like cats, then you should help us spay and neuter them. If you like cats, you should help us spay and neuter them too. So, but I just wanted to bring that up. If y'all have any questions, I probably can't answer them, but Debbie could. But
And I met Debbie this afternoon and talked to her for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what you all do, helping out. It is a problem, so I appreciate y'all's help.
well, we need low-cost spay and neuter. Like we put 20 or 30 in our car and haul them up to Chapmanville, and then we have to sit there all day. We have to have them up there by
30 seconds.
8 o'clock in the morning and then pick them up at 5. So, you know, there's only so much you can do in Chapmanville and Logan, and I've checked it all out several times now. And, you know, I just thought there was something really good working out with having low-cost spay and neuter close by.
Yeah.
So, if y'all could work on that
Okay.
somehow, or like,
Thank you,
I'll
Teresa.
do anything to help y'all.
Thank you.
Give me a knife, I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
All right,
Did it fall off
You
me?
gotta laugh.
Tom Mosley.
So what I want to talk about tonight is, first of all, it was great to see speed bumps come out here, okay? It was wonderful to see some traffic calming, or speed humps rather. But the problem I have is the amount of time it takes when we come to this podium to get something accomplished, okay? You know, we don't do this for personal gain. We do this because we love our city. We do this because we care. We take the time to do the homework and bring it up here to try to get something accomplished. And we do appreciate what you all do. We appreciate everything that you guys look into. But there has to be some way to close this gap of time to get things accomplished. You know, what, 2 years to get speed bumps is ridiculous. So, or speed humps, I'm sorry. So, what I'm asking you all is when we bring something up, please take the time to take it under review. It doesn't matter if we're buddies, it don't matter if we're political rivals, it needs to be looked at and addressed. And that's all I'm asking is to maybe we put the politics aside and we come together and work together for the betterment of our city. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Nate Sidner.
Best thing he can do is keep it.
Hi, everybody. Y'all might remember me from the fall. So I'm with the Piney Creek Watershed Association, and our address is just right over here on South Kanawha. Thanks to the City Council and the city for providing us with that building. It came to our attention that our organization was mentioned during the budget workshop, and so myself and our board chair and our treasurer reached out to Mr. Gerald, Mrs. Chandler to get all that cleared up last week. We were able to sit down and make sure that they have everything they need. So I just wanted to come and say again, thank you to the council for the funding that you provide for us. It helps us do work that, frankly, if it wasn't us, it wouldn't get done. Mr. Gerald being on the board over at the Raleigh County Convention Center now, will be happy to know that by the end of the week, basically, that stormwater detention pond that we've built over there for the Little League field will be done. Midkiff LLC is dropping that control valve in there, and we'll have that commissioned. The Woodrow Wilson project is going along really quickly. Dan Hill construction over there. The winter weather, as you all know, put a hold on a lot of our operations, a lot of folks. We're gonna be helping out with the Make It Shine event on Thursday at 9:30 in the morning at we call it the Haunted Car Wash. I think it's on Google Maps as that. We're gonna be doing our stream cleanup there as well. So if there's anybody out there that can get in the water, we're gonna have waders for people to use to do that as well. So we'll appreciate all the volunteer help we can get. Lastly, Councilman Williams was able to provide us with a letter of support for a grant that we applied for with the Beckley Area Foundation. So thank you very much for providing that to us. That's in conjunction with the city for a rail trail project. We have at any other given time innumerable projects within the city limits and also in greater Raleigh County. We're very proud to have gotten some more grant funding for our wastewater improvement project. So that's all just to say that we're out there doing as much work as we can to benefit the community here in Beckley and Raleigh County. And we sincerely appreciate our funding being clarified for us and being in the budget for the city. My door is always open. Anybody ever has any questions for us, please be in touch. I really appreciate it. The budget concerns were just due to a little bit of a miscommunication between myself, our treasurer, our CPA, Ms. Chandler. Sometimes it was just a little bit of a game of telephone, so we're very happy to get that resolved. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Christina Baisden.
Hello, Christina Baisden. As you all know, we had the budget meeting on March 13th, which I was happy to attend the workshop. I went to City Hall yesterday requesting a copy of the budget, not the budget that was put on to the website for today, but the working actual budget that you all received at that workshop meeting. I was told by Ms. King that I would have to put in a FOIA request for this document. when it is concerning a public meeting, why do I have to put a FOIA in? Typically, I come to City Hall, Ms. Williams helps me, and within 24 to 72 hours, I have a document in my hand. I have literally asked Mr. File or one of you all for a document before I leave here, and I have that document in my hand. It's something as important as a budget. Residents have a right to look at it to see how their tax dollars are being spent, period. If you want to improve your relationship with the residents, this is not how you do it. Also, the meetings are posted online. That is awesome. That is something that happened under Rosaire, which I really greatly appreciate. Not only that, but it was the agenda and the supporting documents for each individual meeting, which I also appreciate. But when we have a workshop meeting, the way you sign up online is there, but the agenda is not there, the supporting documents are not there. Same thing for a special meeting or workshop. You know, we want transparency in government, we should have that. Also, I want to bring to your attention a bill being put forth by Senator Helton, and it is Senate Bill 579, and it stands to repeal the Beckley non-discrimination ordinance that the citizens and our council members, our elected officials, passed in 2019. This is a very slippery slope. This is not just about the Beckley non-discrimination ordinance. This is about any ordinance that we pass, the Beckley Crown Ordinance. This is about endangering our Human Rights Commission.
30 seconds.
This is about endangering other ordinances in other cities that we don't even have. We talk about home rule. Please contact your representative. I contacted mine because I don't want to see this repealed. The citizens spoke already, and we don't need our state talking over us. Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody online? Okay. Well, with that, may I have a motion to go into executive session? Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say nay. Okay, very good. Should be brief. Should we say that?
Yeah, we do.
Frank, you make me feel so good.
Okay, I don't want, protection code. I'm just gonna get my bar.
Just trying to get over.
Regarding a personal.
come down, to stop area straight across the stop sign, there past, Sherman Williams. I come down that lane to go across, and they'll run, they almost hit me coming that way.
Apples and trees, right? Man gotta eat.
I didn't hear that.
I'll even send you the personnel.
These are long.
Writing on the wall there.
quick, but you get 8 people in there talking. Dude, Bill Fowle said the funniest, I can't comment on it, but it was the funniest. No. It was. He wasn't even trying to be funny, it was funny. That's how good it was. Oh, yeah. It was so.
Hey, I got dedicated employees, man.
You do. I'm impressed.
I knew that was gonna get me in trouble.
Okay.
Oh, he said me. I was like, I'll do it. Man, now we brought caregivers some brownies. I gotta bring it.
Ain't no more job
They
postings
wanna
for
go,
I
you wanna go home or you want snacks?
You sit there and heard it.
Hey, Natalie, they wanna go. Let's go. Natalie, I'm gonna start without you. There you go.
Second,
I wanted to see all that.
I have a motion to exit executive session and enter back into regular session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say nay. All right, with that, may I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second? Adjourn.